Are you ready to take your message, your business, and your life to the next level?
Want to learn from someone with more than a decade of experience, training tens of thousands of people from all around the world?
Hi, Cliff. This is Pauline from Auckland, New Zealand.
John from Calgary, Alberta.
Amy Porterfield.
Michael Hyatt.
Dan here from Dunedin, New Zealand.
Ray Edwards.
Mark Mason. Mike Stelzner.
Pat from Smart Passive Income.
It's Darren from Melbourne, Australia.
Now is the time to live the life of your dreams and do the work you feel most called to do in the world.
Welcome to the Cliff Ravenscraft Show.
Here's your host, Cliff Ravenscraft.
That's right, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show. Super excited to bring to you a special crossover event of the decade. I don't know. It sounded fun. Anyway, Stephanie and I are in the studio together. By the way, Stephanie, hello, welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So, for those of you who regularly tune into the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, a couple things I want to share with you. First and foremost, there will be more of the Free the Dream message coming to you in this podcast feed. If you want the Free the Dream core message uninterrupted in its own podcast feed, just go look up the Free the Dream podcast in your favorite podcast directory. I haven't checked to see now if it is working so that you can just search for Free the Dream. So when I submitted this podcast, Stephanie, it was called Free the Dream Podcast. And for whatever reason, if you just searched for Free the Dream, it would not pull up the Free the Dream podcast. So I'm doing a search right now for Free the Dream, click see all, and see it's not there. Now, watch this. If I go back and do search for Free the Dream and then add the word podcast at the end, it is going to pull it up right there.
Interesting.
So do a search for Free the Dream podcast in your favorite podcast directory, and you should be able to subscribe to that feed. So more content coming later, but this is a crossover event. This is primarily, first and foremost, a Family from the Heart podcast episode, which is a podcast Stephanie and I have done. Gosh, when did we started in 2008?
January of 2008.
Yeah, January 2008. So we're getting ready to start our 12th year now. We took some time off for a little while of this podcast, of the Family from the Heart podcast, but we're back. Some new and exciting things happening in our family, and we just felt led to start it up again. But this is also a crossover episode with Thriving Mosaic, which is Stephanie's solo podcast. So that's what's going on. Now we've done the intro to all three podcast episodes. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing absolutely fantastic.
Good.
Never been better, gets better every single day.
Yeah, I know.
So some interesting things have been going on in our family.
Yes.
This is not business related in any way, shape, or form. This is all family stuff. This is like the important stuff of life.
Most definitely.
Well, okay, that was I'm trying to. No, I get it. It is the important stuff of life, but that almost says, well, wait a second. That means that what we do in business isn't the important stuff in life, and that's not true. I think it's all important.
It is all important, and I think we are in a unique position where there's a lot of crossover between the personal family stuff and the business stuff as well. So it is all important.
I just thought as a global statement that it came out. I thought it, but when it came out, it didn't, it's kind of like it came out and it just like dropped straight to the ground. It didn't float out.
Is that
like
how that went?
Yeah. Didn't you see it? It just
Nope.
like lead.
I didn't.
It was like a lead balloon. It
Gotcha.
did not float.
No, lead balloon would not float.
So let's talk about boys. How stupid they are.
Boys are stupid. This is the great advice that Cliff gave our daughters recently.
Well, more specifically, McKenna.
I know you said it to both of them.
Well, in talking with Megan, I was more along the lines of
Okay.
the conversation with McKenna.
Gotcha.
See, when you're 14, boys are stupid.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The older you get, the less stupid the boys are.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm not talking about the boys. I'm talking
okay.
about for girls.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking that once you're 15, girls should think boys are a little bit less stupid. And it should get to the place where it's like right around age 25, it's okay to start thinking boys are cool.
I love that you think that because you were even married before you were 25.
I'm just saying. Hey, this is about my illogical father brain.
Oh, okay. I'm following now. I get where you're going.
Yes, as a dad, I can have all kinds of
day.
beliefs.
We were talking about, so McKenna has recently started going on dates. They are obviously escorted to a place that, and what was it that you said? And I answered it with logic, and you're like, "Don't get logical on me."
Yeah, this has nothing to do with logic. I do not need to defend what my words, my thoughts, my feelings. I'm
not asking you to defend them.
As a father, when you're 14 years old, boys are stupid. You should stay away from them.
All right. Well,
you should just wait until you're 25 and find the right guy and get married.
She's less than 6 months from being 15, and you just said that at 15 boys could be less stupid.
Less stupid, but still stupid. Which means if they're stupid, you should stay away.
She's just like,
you should stay away from stupid stuff.
5 months. 5 months. You should stay away from stupid stuff, but we don't tell you that every day.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about my daughter. I am not worried about being a hypocrite here. I am happily hypocritical as a father.
Yes, that's fine.
I make
that's fine. The girls are very thankful that I stand between them and your hypocritical self.
Yes. Now, with that being said, I want to say for the record that both McKenna, who is our 14-year-old, almost 15. Well, she's 14.
I was just saying she's closer.
I don't know what the heck you're talking about over there.
She's closer to 15 than
it doesn't matter to me.
She's 14.
My gosh, I'm almost closer to 100 than 0.
You.
Not quite yet, though.
No.
But
you're getting there.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. The thing about our so McKenna does not have a boyfriend.
She does not.
Which I want to say is incredibly awesome. Now, the thing is that there's a very real possibility that within a very brief period of time, like within the next couple days, weeks, or months, she could change her mind and say, "This is my boyfriend." Mm-hmm. I don't know if that will happen or not. Part of me is evilly hoping, no, please let the guy be a total jerk and do something stupid so she can see her dad was right. Actually, I don't. I don't.
I know that.
I'm. That's just a little bit of a joke. So
just a little bit.
But I want to just talk about McKenna for just a moment and just say how proud I am of a couple of things. Number one, I'm proud of the fact that she's not just immediately emotionally like, you know what, peer pressure. I've got so many friends who have had boyfriends and have been dating and all this other stuff. And, I'm just going to rush into this. And that's what a lot of teenage girls would do.
It is.
It's like, listen, I don't care what it takes. I don't care what kind of a jerk this is. I will lower my standards so that I can have someone so that I don't feel left out of the crowd of my friends who have boyfriends.
Right.
That is the average teenage response. And I just want to say I am incredibly thankful that we have raised McKenna in such a way and not that we're fully responsible, that she has gone about life as a 14-year-old in a way that I admire and respect deeply. The fact that she's like, listen, tell me what she told this boy.
Okay, so she has she told him she wasn't going to jump into being his girlfriend. She had to know him better. They had to have 4 dates minimum before she would make that decision. And what else did she tell? And she's made it very clear on what she will and won't do. Actually, she's made it very clear on what she won't do.
Right.
And I think that's very mature for 14.
Yes, it is. It is very mature. And so they have been on how many dates now? 2?
They've been on 2 double dates and 1, just the 2 of them.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and
Chaperoned by us.
Yes.
Who was also. Now, we went to the same movie theater, but we saw different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the same restaurant, but we sat at different tables. So they had their own date.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to drive them there.
Yeah, that was weird. But it just seemed, it was weird for me as a dad. It wasn't weird. I didn't feel weird, stuff like that. It's just as a dad, I'm like, I don't know how I want to feel. That's what it is. It's not how do I feel about this. I haven't yet decided how I desire to feel about this. Part of me wants.
You can define what this means.
Yes. I get to choose how I feel.
You get to choose how you
I
feel
can assign
about
whatever, but I'm like, of my various seemingly unlimited number of meanings that I could associate to this, which one do I want to choose? And so
illogical is what he's going with right now.
Illogical is a fun one, but no, it went rather well, and I was very pleased by the 2 times that I've met this boy that McKenna has been beta testing.
That's funny.
Yes,
that is funny. I also think he's a very sweet, polite boy. They have real conversation, and that is incredible at their age. It's not just, they're not just vague questions.
Yeah.
And they were at dinner. They were like 2 tables away from us, but nobody was in between. And so I could hear a little bit, like they're having real conversation. And I think that is pretty incredible. He was very polite.
He was.
And
I think the fun part is that on our way home, you and McKenna needed to use the bathroom, and she wanted you to go to the bathroom with her.
Because she's afraid to go into the gas station by herself.
Yep. And you guys get out of the car and you tell her what?
I said, you do realize you left him in the car alone with your dad. She's like, I know, but I gotta pee so bad.
and this is what I really liked. And I wouldn't tell you guys for a while. I waited until Megan was with us so I could tell you all together. So when you guys got out of the car, we had a little bit of chit chat, kind of small talk, because I still don't know how I want to feel about this, right? Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to acknowledge him. I wasn't going to sit there and ignore him,
right?
So anyway, I said something. He said something in chit chat. And he goes, "By the way, I'm Chris. We haven't been formally introduced." And he shakes my hand and he asked me, "Should I call you Mr. Ravenscraft?" And I said, "No, you can call me Cliff." And I don't know if we said any much more after that, but because it was still kind of awkward.
It's still kind of right.
But and that was a meaning that I was choosing to associate it to it. Yeah. But no, I just want to say for the record that I was very impressed by the interactions that I've seen so far. And I'm still, as a dad, not excited about my 14-year-old getting ready to potentially have her first boyfriend. I don't like that. I don't know why. I have no logical reason not to like that. I know I trust my daughter, and this boy seems to be nice. It's just that very few times on earth is there a situation where somebody met a boy when they were 14 years old and they've been together and happily married for the rest of their life.
And she'll say that to you. She says, I like him, but I'm 14.
But and it kind of, so what I will tell you is it reminds me of the thought of having a puppy. This is no different. The thought of McKenna having a boyfriend is no different than having a puppy. And the puppy is going to be around for about 18 years. And one day he's going to break our heart. He's going to leave us.
Not of his choice.
I know. but it just he's not going to be around for the next 55, 60 years.
I know.
And so for me, I know that. Do you see where I'm going with this illogical?
Yes, but you cannot protect her from every heartbreak.
I know, but
these are things
I would
that
love
she
to
has
put her in a
to
bubble until she's 20.
That's
I'm just kidding.
not smart.
It's not smart. It's not something I would do.
I know.
I am willfully involved in this process.
I know.
I'm just telling you that the illogical dad brain of me wants her to just
I know.
stay away. Boys are stupid. But this boy is seemingly nice, and I have a great BS detector.
Yes, as do I.
Belief system.
So, yeah.
I have a good intuition about people, and this isn't fake.
Yep.
He is sincerely a respectful kid, and yeah.
Yep. And I feel the same way. And friends of ours have met him because his best friend is dating McKenna's best friend, and so the four of them have spent time together, and McKenna's best friend's parents have spent time with them, and they get the same. He introduced himself, he shook their hand when they met, and I don't know what you're doing on your phone.
I'm just looking. Wait,
Okay.
I have a call at 12 o'clock. So
okay.
I just need to, I should probably put some sort of timer on my thing, and that way I won't have
We're
to.
already 20 minutes. Well,
I know.
Actually, we're not, because the first 6 were.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. How do I? Oh my goodness! Fill the air there, baby.
I don't know what he's trying to do. So McKenna is potentially working toward having a boyfriend, and that freaks Cliff out.
It doesn't freak me out. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm out of my comfort zone. I like it when I'm
Life
just.
is about getting out of your comfort
I
zone
know
and
it is.
growing in that.
I am. Thank you so much, McKenna, for this wonderful fatherly growing experience. I'm really appreciative.
Well, I think it's been a long time since you've had to grow as a father. So, welcome to the parenting side of
I'm
life.
just kidding. I said at the open of the show, I've never been better. It gets better every single day.
I know.
And I
know.
yes.
So the girls now, you shared his name, and I don't know. Are you going to take that
I haven't
out?
shared his name, did
You
I?
did. He introduced himself, and
Oh.
so are you going to
Well,
take that out?
it's just his
or-
first name.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
So anyway, you shared his name, and it's Chris.
Mhm.
And Megan now has a boyfriend, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And I actually have her permission to say his name, and his name is Colton.
Yep.
And so the girls have gotten together.
The rest of this episode is going to be about this whole scenario. Let me
I
tell
know.
you.
So the girls have gotten together, and they've decided that it's time for Matthew to have a girlfriend, and her name needs to start with a C, because all of our children, their names start with M. So they've decided that now, by chance, that 2 of them ended up liking someone with a C name, that Matthew just by default needs to.
Yep.
Anyway.
Okay, so
They're funny.
So let's transition now. Do I have some transition music?
We don't need transition.
All right, it's time to transition over to Megan now.
Megan.
What do you mean? We always need transition music.
Okay.
All right. So Megan, it was her birthday this weekend,
It was. Megan turned 20 years old yesterday.
and she found a boy.
She did.
Well, the boy has been around for a little while,
He has.
and I've been aware of it. And I haven't actually had any kind of concern. It was a couple weeks ago. I told you about a lawyer friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's writing a ebook for his potential clients to give away for free. It's kind of like, hey, do you have a child that's going off to college or has recently gone off to college? Here are the X number of things that you need to know, And so he's like, Cliff, I'd like to do some research. Would you mind telling me when you sent Megan off to college, what were your greatest fears? What were the thing? What was like? What's the top 1 or 2 things that kept you up at night, or what? That kind of question.
Right.
And I said, I'll tell you what, can we do a FaceTime call? Because I don't want to type all of this stuff out because it would take a lot to explain this to you, and I hate to write. So if you want to do a FaceTime call, let me know. He said, sure. I said, And we got on the call, and I said, absolutely nothing. I sleep like a baby. Well, okay,
You sleep like a teenager.
I sleep like a teenager. I sleep incredibly well, and I've not worried about anything. The only thing I can tell you is that when we dropped her off at college, I wept like no one
Like a
else.
baby.
I'm like, oh my gosh. It was like we just buried our daughter and left the gravesite. I mean, it felt like that.
Okay, I didn't have that same feeling.
That's how
dramatic.
That's how powerfully emotional that experience was. Pulling away, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are leaving me."
Actually, she said, "Don't leave me."
Yeah, don't leave me. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm leaving her," and that really stung for a couple hours, and we drove home in silence. But since then, oh my gosh, I have this incredibly awesome room that I get to nap in on a daily basis. She is not here all day, every day saying, I'm bored. You know, and it's like, this is so cool. I said, I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about her decisions, her choices, what could happen, all of that stuff. You know, I believe Stephanie and I, from the beginning, well, actually not from the beginning, we took this course called Growing Kids God's Way, which is terrible. Absolutely the worst piece of coaching / mentoring / teaching / whatever advice we'd ever been given, ever. Growing Kids God's Way by the Ezzos. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. However, what I will say is that after that, we made the decision. We are not raising children. We're raising responsible adults.
Adults, right? The
That's
end
what we had
game,
been
the
charged.
end goal was always for them to leave the house as morally responsible, independent individuals.
Yes, and that's exactly it. And so we spent years of our lives investing in each of our 3 children so that when faced with challenges in life, they will be equipped to make the decisions that are necessary that will be in alignment with what they have developed internally as their own belief system and their own philosophy of life.
That's
Who is
actually
that?
the pharmacy at
Go
Kroger
ahead.
in Bowling Green.
All right.
Hello.
All right, so that's taken care of.
It is.
Now what are you doing?
I'm seeing if this is the cleaning lady on her way.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on her way.
All right.
And I got that 6 minutes ago. So we got a little bit.
Cool. Okay, so where were we? Oh, so the thing is, trust them to make the decisions. And as far as worry, I said, worrying has never done anything valuable for me. Worrying about, will she be in a car accident? Worrying about, will she have some kind
Get a
of
speeding ticket.
Yeah, worrying about whether or not she's going to walk somewhere alone on campus that's
She
unsafe.
says to me the other day, she says, what were we talking about? We were talking about a paper that she had due and whether she was going to make her deadline or whatever. And she says, you and Dad never check my grades.
Nope.
Like, no. You know what GPA you need to keep your KEYS money, which is money that the state of Kentucky gave her based on her GPA in high school, or gives her based on her GPA in high school, and a small scholarship that she was awarded from Western Kentucky University. Said, you know the GPA that you need to keep those 2 things. You know that the only expectation from mom and dad is that you keep that GPA. The rest is on you.
Yeah, you're an adult.
You're an adult. Go adult.
Yeah, go be an adult. And she calls home sometimes with some less than adult feelings and experiences, and like, okay, here's how you handle this as an adult. Here
She told me she saw the meme on Facebook, and she sent it to you. It is the low tire pressure symbol, and it says, "Do you know what this means?" And the comment on the bottom says, "It means I need to call my dad."
Yep.
Now, when I get that, I call Matt from Honda. But anyway.
Yep. So Anyway, the whole situation is that, listen, I'm not worried about my daughter. Here's what I know. My daughter is going to go down there and she's going to make a lot of really wise decisions because of some of the upbringing that she's had. She's got 2 incredibly awesome parents that are out of this world awesome. And her dad is like, hello, the most awesome dad on the planet. What are you looking at now?
I'm looking to see what time Amanda is going to be here.
Okay.
So that I don't know if you can hear the doorbell down here. And I have headphones on.
Last time it didn't ring at all, Sarah
That's
said.
true. It didn't. It's done that a couple of times. So
Okay.
anyway, I was just getting like an ETA
Cool.
in my mind. Because the text message that they send,
Yeah.
you can track their progress.
Gotcha.
It says 11:41 ETA. So
11:41. All right. We
we're
got
good.
time.
Go.
Where was
Sorry.
I?
Awesome parents.
Yeah, incredibly awesome parents. So we know we have equipped her well to make some really wise decisions.
We have.
At the same time, our daughter until yesterday was a teenager. And even now that she's no longer a teenager, even at age 20,
She's gonna make.
she's
stupid
going to make
mistakes.
some really stupid mistakes. I mean, like incredibly stupid mistakes. And some of them, and every bad decision that she makes will have consequences. Some of them more severe than others. But I'm not going to worry about those in advance.
Right.
And actually, that's that one.
I'm not going to worry about them. Period.
There you go, because that phrase came out and like that one dropped to the ground as well. Did you see that one drop to the ground?
Yeah. Well, I think I felt that falling before you were finished.
Yeah.
But,
there's no worrying about her the consequences of her poor choices in life in advance doesn't help anyone.
neither does worrying about them
Nor
in present.
or present when they've happened. So why worry? Why be anxious? Why stay up at night and lose your sleep? Why have cortisol running through your body, destroying you, causing disease? That's just not who I am. So I said, I love the fact that you're writing this ebook, but unfortunately I have nothing to offer you when it comes to fear, worry, or anxiousness about sending my kids. I'm delighted she's off to college.
That's right. Before she even left, I recorded a podcast that literally was titled Overjoyed.
Overjoyed. Okay. So how long ago did she say that she has a boyfriend?
It was September.
September.
Maybe it was late September, early October.
All right. And so she's been dating this boy, and he's about an hour away. And you've known about it immediately. I
Yep.
think I knew about it not too long after that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm still as a dad, it's like, boys are stupid, right? That's just my dad response. But, I'm just like tuning into whatever information comes my way. I'm not going to think one way or another about this. It's like, I'm concerned about my daughter's heart. It's like, listen, but the reality is if she wants to one day have a relationship long-term with somebody, she needs to get out there and find out who it is that would be a good fit for her.
Exactly.
and stuff. So, and she's not 14, so I'm kind of okay.
You're kind of okay.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So I haven't had any real concern about this. I'm kind of just saying, okay, let's see how things happen and what happens, and whatever comes our way as a result of this, whatever we learn about, we'll just take it one day at a time. That's how I've kind of approached it. And then comes the time. I want you to meet boyfriend. Really? Do I have to do this?
Yes. Stop whining.
I know. I'm kind of just kidding, but kind of. No, seriously, it wasn't a big deal. So for Megan's birthday weekend, which was this past weekend, her 20th birthday, she wanted me to meet her boyfriend. I wanted us to meet her boyfriend.
She did.
And I was actually kind of looking forward to it. They'd been spending enough time together that they have decided that they are very seriously involved with one another. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. And I think it's cool that they want us to meet he wanted to meet us and
Yeah,
she wanted us to meet him. And
Yes.
so I thought that was really cool. And, this isn't my little baby. This is my adult, not 14s, by the way.
I'm aware.
So I'm just saying,
I'm aware.
this is my adult child who is in a very, I would say, a first real genuine
This is her first real genuine relationship. Yes.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, I let's go and meet the boy.
Let's go meet the boy.
The boy.
So yesterday we had Saturday with just the 5 Ravenscrafts.
Well, that's what I want to do.
That was fun.
I'd like to talk real quickly about the whole weekend. So
Okay.
let's
real quickly.
kind
All
of
right.
quickly.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Cliff
So
can't do anything quickly. We all know this by now.
all right. So we decide we're going to spend the weekend doing some fun stuff together. Megan has a class at the university called Pop Culture.
Pop culture.
And her professor gave her an assignment, a field trip, to go to a Comic-Con in
Louisville.
Kentucky, and it's called GalaxyCon. And she's like, hey, so I'm going to be in Louisville. Do you guys want to meet me there? Maybe we could meet up for lunch or something like that. And I'm like, well, why don't we go?
Why don't we go?
Let's go
Yeah.
to GalaxyCon. I've never been to a Comic-Con before in my life.
No.
I had
I
never.
have. I've seen one because when Megan was on dance team, we had a dance competition in Lexington, Kentucky, and in the convention center, there was also a Comic-Con going on. And so you can see people in cosplay and stuff like walking around. So I have been in an environment, but I have not been to the event.
Right. And I'm a total geek, so I love pop culture. Stephanie and I both love pop. I mean, gosh, we've done a Twilight Saga podcast, a Hunger Games podcast. We did a 6-year Lost podcast. I mean, we are into pop culture. So I'm like, I think we ought to go. And you're like, okay.
Okay.
So we bought a 1-day pass to GalaxyCon 2019. We left at 9:30 in the morning, dropped our super pup off over at some friends who took care of him overnight,
Yes.
which was awesome.
It's amazing.
And we drove, what was it? Is it about an hour and a
It's
half?
about an hour and a half to Louisville.
We drove an hour and a half to Louisville. We had lunch. We met up with Megan in a parking spot. And then we had Guy Fieri's Smokehouse down in Louisville. And it was, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate it about a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool that.
I'm not dying to go back.
Yeah, I don't ever desire to go back. City Barbecue has better brisket, so just saying. Anyway, we had great lunch, and then we walked over just 2 blocks down to GalaxyCon, where it was at this Louisville Convention Center, and it was cool. We walk in, I get the program, and I see that they have a panel for Deep Space Nine. And 2 of the actors from Deep Space Nine it's Q&A with them.
Right.
Terry Farrell, I think is the girl's name. She played Dax. And Armin something, who played Quark. What are you listening for?
The doorbell?
Okay, do you want to go and see if there's somebody at the door?
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Press the doorbell while you're up there. And I'll do some more talking about this. Or how's that sound?
That sounds great.
I'll fill the dead air. All right, so anyway, there was this panel session with Terry and Armin. I think that's their names. Anyway, Dax and Quark. And there was only about 20 minutes left in this panel. And I walked around to the side and I noticed that there were chairs all the way up in the very front row. So I got a front row seat into this panel. And it was incredibly cool because I love Star Trek. I've watched every episode of the original series. I watched every episode of The Next Generation twice, I think. I've watched every episode of Deep Space Nine and every episode of Voyager. And I cannot force myself to finish watching Enterprise. Was there anybody there?
No.
Did you press the button?
I didn't, because that would disturb the pup, and then he'd start barking, and
Okay.
all kinds of things would go crazy. So we're good.
All right. So I'm a huge fan of Deep Space Nine, and I watched every season of this show, and I'm a huge fan of these actors. It's like, that was so cool to be in the front row right there, right then. Now, I've never been to Comic-Con, so I don't know what the etiquette is for asking for selfies and stuff like that. I for some reason, I felt that I shouldn't go up and ask for a selfie. They were right there in front of me, and they were talking and stuff like that. And it's a good thing that I didn't, because that's one of the ways that they make money is by having people go up to the floor and you can pay for selfies. And I didn't have a lot of cash on me because we're near the end of the month and have spent a lot of my slush fund.
Yes, Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to that. I need to refill. But it was still so cool to be so close and to hear their stories about different ways characters were developed over time and how involved they were in that process. It was a lot of fun.
I actually enjoy. I was in part of it, but you walked in and then you disappeared. We now know that you went to the front row, but Cliff has this amazing ability to forget that his family is following him when he goes places like Galaxy Cons or, the great city of London. And just kind of leaves the rest of us in the dust. And so we couldn't find him. So we left that room and went to explore and see what else that there was around. We ended up on the expo floor, where a lot of the actors had their booths set up so you could go and have your selfies and your picture taken and stuff like that and get your autographs, and booths set up to sell different things. And we walked around there. We went downstairs into the basement of the convention center, and that's where some of the other panels were happening. There were other sessions and
Q&As.
There were game rooms and stuff going. I don't think there were any Q&As downstairs.
Okay.
But sessions and gaming rooms and different stuff going on.
It was an
downstairs.
incredible
It was
event.
really,
I didn't get to see the lower level, but the exhibition hall was massive.
It was.
I only sat in on the one Q&A, but that thing went from in the morning until like midnight.
Well into the night. I sat in on a Q&A for Felicia Day from Supernatural, and I actually got pulled out of that by you to go meet Brett
Cullen,
who played Goodwin on Lost and various other things. But I'm not a Supernatural fan, but I know people who are. And so it was just kind of cool to sit in there with her and listen to her answer these questions about how, anyway, it was interesting.
It was. And so while after the DS9, I noticed that you guys had, wandered off on your own, and I looked at my text messages like, okay, they're not looking for me. So I went up to the exhibition hall, and I got to meet Brett Spiner. And I'm like, I saw that, they have these prices for photo ops and all this other stuff, and you can pay for those things. Do not pay for those ahead of time. If you go to a Comic-Con, because on the website, it was like $95 to meet this person and this and that. Yeah. That's the official photo ops times, and you have to stand in that massive line. But they all have their own booth where you have to pay cash. But they have these tables where they just stand there, and you could pay half that price for an autograph, the average was about $45 if you wanted an autograph. It was $30 if you wanted a selfie with them, and then there was a price for combined if you wanted both. And I'm sitting there, it's like, and these actors and these stars, so they're all of the Q&A and all this other stuff's going on, and there's no lines for some of them. And one of Brett Spiner's just sitting there. And I'm like, I'm going to go up and talk. By the way, he played Lieutenant Commander Data. So I went up to Brent Spiner, and I'm like, hi. I was like, I'm a huge fan. I said, I wish you guys, or actually, no, I said, how much do you take credit card? And they say, no, we do cash only. So I pull out my thing, and I'm like, and I had so many singles. I I think it was, I did 20, I had a 20 and then I had a ton of singles. And so I kind of was like, you should just stack of cash. And so I gave him this like that. And, I just chatted with him for a little bit and we took a picture. And I have a picture with me and Data. How cool is that?
It's very cool.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm a massive fan of Star Trek.
I know.
And then right next to his booth was Michael Dorn, but I didn't have any cash. And then right next to that was
so now
Armin.
I would have had the same reaction to Michael Dorn because he's my favorite.
Yeah, he played Worf for
is
those that don't know.
Worf is my favorite.
And then Quark and Dax were down there, and I'm like, and I wanted to go get some cash from my card, but I didn't have my business card, and so which we need to go to the bank and I need to ask them to get me a business card.
Okay.
So
you sure it's not in your office somewhere?
It might be. I need to look in my other wallet.
But so we need to move this along. But so we had an excellent time at.
Oh well, and we met Goodwin, who
I already said that.
Yeah, I know Brett Cullen, who played Goodwin on Lost, and he also played Thomas Wayne in the most recent movie called Joker. So, anyway, it was cool. And we had a really great conversation with Brett Cullen.
Yes, we did.
Talked a lot about his time on Lost, Jorge Garcia, the writers of the show. That was fun. And then we talked a little bit about the Joker and the social commentary and stuff like that. I think I had, out of our entire family, I had more fun at GalaxyCon than anybody else.
Yes.
I want to go back.
Yes. Part of our problem was that you had the schedule.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find to get another schedule, so we didn't know what was going on. So we just kind of walked around, which was fine. But after we left Louisville, we made a stop in Bowling Green so that we could drop off the things that we had to deliver to Megan, and she could pack and get her stuff, and we could head on into Nashville.
Yep. Then we went down to Nashville after that, and we were going to look at Christmas lights. Chose not to do that last minute. Went over to the Opry Mills Mall, walked around for a little bit, got some food, and then everybody was kind of tired.
We were tired and ready to crash, so we found our hotel, and that's what we did.
Yep.
Sunday morning, we wake up. It is Megan's birthday. We start getting ready, and we head to meet the boyfriend.
Yep. And we meet him just outside of the Rainforest Cafe. Are you going to go see if the doors...
I just feel like I hear knocking.
Okay.
And it could just be that I'm expecting it, and...
Just, why don't you unlock, or never mind. Just, she will be back. She's going to throw her headphones back on and jump right back into the story where we're standing outside of the Rainforest Cafe and in walks Megan and the boy.
Megan and the boy. So we actually, we saw her walking to him in the parking lot, and Matthew says, "Are we gonna?" I said, "No, let her go and bring him to introduce him to us. Like that's how this should go." And so we go in and wait for her to bring him. So she does. He shakes everyone's hand and was we like, all right, so let's get our name on the list. Let's and I love that. A lot of yesterday was just him kind of observing our dynamic.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, our dynamic.
Yeah. we don't need to tell our audiences that.
No. Here's the...
We are a family who has given up on the ordinary to live the lives for which we were created.
Yes, but there are some situations and circumstances where we're better behaved than others.
Okay. Were we better behaved in this circumstance?
No, we were very much ourselves yesterday.
Okay, I was going to say.
Very few people get to see us in our natural habitat. and just kind of, and so I love that. I mean, he was always polite.
Yes.
He was always respectful.
Yes.
But he picked up on our dynamic and blended in well right away.
He did.
And I thought that was pretty incredible.
I did too. I was very impressed with him. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate him a perfect 10 for my expectations for somebody that I hope that my daughter would be interested in.
Absolutely. And I love, and we told her that she needs to listen to this later. So I'm going to say, I love that he wasn't afraid to show her affection in front of us.
Yep.
I absolutely love that, because if he was, that would say more
About him.
than the reverse.
Right.
And so I absolutely love that he wasn't afraid to show her affection in front of. They held hands. They walked arm in arm. Sometimes he kissed her on the head or on the cheek, and like he wasn't afraid to show her affection, and I loved that. Yes, I was paying attention, and I did notice those things.
And he answered the most important question appropriately.
What podcast does he listen to?
I asked him what podcasts he listened to. What's so funny?
It was hilarious because you're like all serious and you're like, all right, I'm going to ask you the most important question of the day.
Yep.
And like you laid this really serious, and he's like, all right, he's ready. Right? And then you said, so what podcast do you subscribe to?
Yep. I want to know.
Yeah. And he had two.
And
I
he
don't
did.
remember what they are now, but he had two.
Here's what I know. I had not heard of either of those podcasts, and I don't even know what the topics are, but the fact that he listens to podcasts was important to me.
Yeah. I love that was important to you, because I've been creating podcasts with you for 14 years and I don't listen to podcasts.
That's fine.
So what does that say about how you feel about me?
You've listened to podcasts before.
I have.
So I don't
Enough to know I'm not really good at it.
It's fine. No, that was mostly joking. It doesn't matter to me, but there are things you can learn about people by where and how they consume content. I mean, there's lots of things that I like about Colton already. I love the fact that he knows something that he wants to do in life. I had asked some questions. I had given him a different way of thinking about ultimate goals and stuff like that, and he's very open and receptive to. I never really thought about things that's an interesting thing to consider. I could tell that he received that. I'm like, there's a lot of things that were brought up in conversation, seemingly innocent. Nobody might have ever thought of anything, but there's a lot of things that I'm just, like I said, 10 out of 10. I'm not saying he's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. He's a boy. He's stupid. I'm stupid because I'm a boy. But here's what I will tell you is that...
Did you know that he told her when they first started dating, one of the things that he really likes about her is that she's smarter than he is?
Nice.
It is.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But I just, yeah, I was very impressed.
As was I.
And after lunch, I'm like, cool. Then we went over to, perfect. This is a perfect first get to know the new boyfriend scenario. Yep. You can't do anything better than this. And that is you and your family bring the boyfriend into a room, lock the doors, and make it impossible to get out for an hour. That was awesome.
It was awesome. This was McKenna and Matthew's idea that we would, after lunch, do an escape room together. And I love their whole, they're like, we should do an escape room. 1, because they're fun. 2, because we can see how he thinks.
Yep.
Like they put thought into that.
Yes, they did.
They really did. And again, he fit right in with us. It really was not like a first meeting.
Yep.
And we all had a great time. We escaped our room with 28 seconds to spare.
Yes, we did.
I mean, talk about down to the wire.
It was called The Escape Game, which is a chain. They have one down in the Pigeon Forge area where we did the heist. Yeah. This was called Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
And it was incredibly awesome.
It was really good.
Oh my gosh. I felt like a kid inside of there. It was so much fun. And it's for 6 to 8 people. And we had 6 of us. But we bought the other 2 spots out.
Paid the other money so that it was just the 6 of us, which was nice because that was a way to see how our, how we would flow together.
Yeah.
And
it was incredibly awesome. And so we had a wonderful, wonderful experience getting to know Colton. I'm happy that they are together. I'm thrilled for Megan. I hope it works out for them.
I do.
I mean, I know that this is early days and stuff like that, but
Well, and here's what I know. I know that Megan has said to me, Mom, I'm so thankful that you and Dad have showed me what a real relationship looks like.
yeah,
It's not always perfect. It's not only fuzzy feelings. Like it's hard work and it's worth it. And Colton comes from a different experience. And so he knows what he wants because he knows what he doesn't want.
right.
And they're already having dialogue about that, about what that looks like. And they speak with long-term language.
Yeah.
And right now they have the distance, they're an hour apart. And so there's a distance challenge. And I said, Megan, if you're going to make it work, make it work.
Yeah.
It's
I don't see an hour being a distance.
Well, it's just that he's not like right there.
Yeah.
They can't just go grab lunch.
Right.
They can't,
Which actually could be more beneficial
I think it's better.
than what some people
Yeah.
experience.
I think it's better. When I told her, when you and I started dating, you were working full-time and going to college. I was working full-time and going to high school. We only saw each other on the weekends.
Yep. And that was good.
And that was good.
It was something we always looked forward to, those times
It
that we
wasn't
had together.
until way later that we started
Spending
seeing
every
day
together.
together. Yeah. And so it's, I told her, you can make it work if you want to make it work, but you have to make sure that you're both on the same page.
Yep.
And go from there.
And then, she rode down with us. Then after the escape game, she was going to, her friends from college were coming down to celebrate her birthday with her and Colton. Mm-hmm. So she was going to drive back to Bowling Green with them that night. There was an hour between the end of the escape game and when her friends were going to arrive in Nashville. So it was time for us to leave. And we got in the car and drove. I mean, we said our goodbyes and everything. Yep. And we drove back home and came home last night. And she and Colton hung out for an hour and did some shopping at the mall and stuff like that. And then her friends came and they had the whole birthday celebration and did whatever they did in Nashville. And then last night at 10:30 in the evening, I think, I get a call from Megan. I was already asleep.
I was asleep as well.
And turns out that in the parking garage, his car was broken into, or the doors were unlocked. Somebody got into his car and stole all of the stuff that they purchased at the mall, stole her bag with all of her
overnight bag.
Her overnight bag with her
medication, her makeup, which a girl would understand. It's going to cost like hundreds of dollars just to
some sentimental jewelry and stuff like that.
Replace her makeup, but her hairbrush, her toothbrush, like she's like, I have nothing to get ready this morning.
Yeah.
Nothing. Everything was taken.
Everything that was in the
everything that was in
she
the
had
car,
left the car was taken. Which
in her 20-year-old mind last night when she was freaking out was everything that she owned. And so it was it's kind of, I think it's kind of good that they're thrown into a stressful situation this early.
Yeah, that's what I started last night when I was laying there, because all of a sudden, I had that fight or flight kind of, oh my gosh, are you okay? That kind of stuff. And as soon as I learned that she's okay, I'm like, listen, all that stuff, that can be replaced.
It can all be, it's going to take time. Here's the thing. Whoever took it is only going to get like $100, $200, $300 max. It's going to cost us thousands of dollars to replace the stuff that was in the bag, and the sentimental stuff can't be replaced. But
they're not hurt.
They're not hurt.
It wasn't.
That's
I wasn't being called because we just got into an accident and I'm on my way to the
Megan
emergency room.
Now Megan is hurt, but she did that on her own. She tripped and fell.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
that was long before the car. But
yeah. But overall, the one thing that Megan will have the temptation to do is to think, what an absolutely lousy birthday. And I'm like, that's what she,
so she had to call the pharmacy this morning to see if her prescription can be refilled early because it was stolen, and she just got a refill like a week ago, and so she had to call in, and the girl at the pharmacy says, "So what's your birthday?" And she gives her birthday. She goes, "Oh, you had a bad birthday." She goes, "No, I had a great birthday, but it ended really crappy."
Yeah. See, that's the thing. And in the moment, I mean, I can understand Megan having those emotional, that break. It's like, this is the end. This is terrible. Everything, and blah, blah. It's like, whoa, hold on. This is not the end of the world.
Right.
That all of that can be replaced. You're okay.
Yeah, you're okay. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience.
Yeah, and the important thing is in hindsight, now that weekend is behind, what you can choose to do is you could choose to focus on what you've lost in those final few hours of that birthday weekend, or you can think about all of the awesome experiences that we had that weekend. Mm-hmm. 5 years from now, the $2,000 worth of stuff that was lost
will have been replaced.
That it will mean nothing to you.
Yep.
But the experiences that we had that weekend will live with you forever. Mm-hmm. So you decide. And I told Megan, I said, I want you to listen to this episode. So Megan, this is me talking to you. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if anybody else listens to this podcast. Right, this one's just for Megan. So Megan, you get to choose what you focus on about this weekend. And I encourage you to only focus on the awesome way that you and Colton had the opportunity to see one another experience a stressful situation, and look at that as a gift. Was he there for you? How did he treat you in that moment? Did he blame you? Did he try to protect you? You look at the response that happened in that moment and see that as a gift for seeing the man that you are dating. There is nothing else that can truly show you the colors of the man that you're dating outside of an experience like that, and see that as a $2,000 investment in learning who he is. And I heard him speak to your mom on the phone last night. You've got a good man, and it was worth the $2,000 investment.
And everything in that bag can be replaced.
Except for the sentimental jewelry.
And
you know what?
But actually, some of it probably could. You'd lose the sentiment, but, you could reattach new sentiment to a new object. It is, he is a good man.
That's it.
He's still a man boy.
He's still a boy, and he's stupid. but
he's a good one. And
boys are stupid.
And that I agree with Dad is worth the loss of the stuff.
Yep.
Because it's just stuff.
It's just stuff. And like I said, if in a way, it's like the perfect way to end that weekend.
Seriously, the first thing was like, I'm so angry because that's a lot of stuff. And the second thing was like, how awesome for them to go through something so stressful so early.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sitting here.
And the same goes for Colton. Like, look at how Megan reacted.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Wait, no. To completely ignore how my daughter reacted.
No. She's crazy.
Seriously.
She's dramatic. She's emotional. But when all of that is done, she's going to buckle down and do what she's got to do to fix it. And so
it's a gift.
It is.
Sometimes our greatest obstacles in life are
our greatest
gifts. It exposes a lot. And more than anything, it's like inside of me, wow, am I happy with how I responded in this scenario? Could I have responded differently? How can I change for the better as a result of this?
Absolutely.
So
I love it.
Anyway, it was an incredibly awesome weekend. I have a coaching call in 3.5 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got to go see what's next on my list.
All right. Baby, I love you.
The dryer should be done, which means it's time to make my bed.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in. By the way, this was... we talked about...
This was a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We're just going to have to end it in one way. Otherwise, that's going to be a lot of post-production.
All right. Until next time, we encourage you to take everything you do in life to the next level.
Mindset Answer Man.